Social Security's decision to keep paper checks. What you need to know. Social Security shakes up its payment plans. But who really wins? Imagine this. Just when millions of Americans are bracing for an end to paper Social Security checks, the government suddenly reverses course. Big news, right? Especially since some believe electronic transfers are simply the way of the future. But here's where it gets controversial. Not everyone is ready or able to make that digital leap. On Wednesday, the Social Security Administration, SSA, announced that it would, contrary to a recent declaration, continue offering paper checks to beneficiaries after September 30th. While the aim had been to transition all payments to direct deposit or other electronic methods, the agency has hit the brakes following a public outcry and high-level political intervention. So what changed? Initially, the SSA had argued that electronic payments are not only faster and more secure, but also save taxpayer money. In fact, they pointed out that each paper check cost the government about 50 cents, compared to a mere 15 cents for an electronic funds transfer. Multiply that by millions, and the savings add up quickly. But, and this is the part most people miss, not all seniors have the means or the desire to use banks or digital wallets. This swift reversal followed a private discussion between Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts and Social Security Commissioner Frank Bisignano. Senator Warren spotlighted a group that is often overlooked, the 600,000 Americans who still depend on paper checks. Although this is a tiny percentage of Social Security's nearly 70 million recipients, it's a community for whom paper payments aren't just tradition. They're a lifeline. Warren emphasized, no one will be left behind, after Bisignano confirmed that those who need checks will continue to receive them. But why do so many still rely on physical checks in 2025? The answer is more complicated than it seems. According to Bankrate, millions in the U.S. are unbanked, meaning they live without a standard bank account. Common reasons include the belief they earn too little, fear of account fees, or mistrust the financial institutions. Instead, these individuals often turn to check cashing services or digital solutions like PayPal and Venmo to manage their money. A surprising statistic from the AARP reveals that nearly 20% of households led by someone over 65 are either unbanked or underbanked. For people in these situations, seemingly simple things, like receiving a direct deposit, can be a real challenge. Here's a point sure to spark debate. Should the government continue to accommodate the shrinking group at higher cost, or push everyone toward more modern, cost-effective solutions? Some argue that supporting digital payment options is essential for fraud reduction and efficient delivery. But does that justify leaving some of our most vulnerable neighbors behind? Service is another major concern. Senator Warren also pressed Commissioner Bisignano on the topic of customer support, particularly following significant staff reductions at the SSA that raised fears about long waits and drop calls. After their meeting, Warren announced that Bisignano had agreed to request an independent audit of SSA customer service. This review would examine crucial aspects, such as how long callers wait and how many actually reach a live person for help. The SSA, for its part, says things are looking up. Agency representatives highlighted that in 2025, the average phone wait time had fallen to 18 minutes, a notable improvement over the previous year's 30-minute average. Commissioner Bisignano also presented other positive trends. Wait times at offices are dropping, the backlog of disability claims has decreased by 25%, and key payments have been distributed months ahead of schedule. According to SSA spokespeople, Senator Warren regarded these improvements as encouraging. But what do you think? Is it more important to step boldly into a digital future, or to make sure every last beneficiary can access their funds the old-fashioned way, even if it costs more? And could these reported improvements in customer service offset the challenges posed by a more digital system, or will some Americans inevitably lose out? Where do you stand on the paper versus electronic payment debate? Is this reversal the right call, or just a delay of the inevitable? Share your thoughts below, whether you agree or think it's time for sweeping change. Your perspective matters. Social Security Administration backtracks on decision to end paper checks, reports say. In a surprising turn of events, the Social Security Administration, SSA, has reversed its decision to halt the issuance of paper checks for beneficiaries of its retirement program. Initially, the SSA had planned to transition all Social Security payments to electronic deposits starting this fall. However, recent media reports and statements from Senator Elizabeth Warren D-Mass confirm that paper checks will continue to be sent to those who cannot receive payments through other means. Senator Warren announced on July 23rd that SSA Commissioner Frank Bisignano agreed to maintain the paper check option for beneficiaries who face difficulties with electronic payments. A spokesperson for the SSA has also confirmed to CBS Money Watch and Kiplinger that paper checks will remain available for certain recipients, including those receiving retirement and disability benefits. Despite this, the SSA will continue to promote the benefits of electronic transfers and encourage recipients to switch. The SSA's initial plan to discontinue paper checks was part of a broader effort to modernize its systems and enhance service delivery. According to the SSA, less than 1% of beneficiaries currently use paper checks, which amounts to potentially hundreds of thousands of Americans affected by the original decision. This small percentage, however, represents a significant number given that over 74 million people receive Social Security, supplemental security income, or both as of June 2025. One of the reasons some beneficiaries rely on paper checks is due to a lack of access to banking services. Data from the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation shows that about 4.2% of U.S. households were unbanked in 2023. Bankrate reports that reasons for being unbanked or underbanked include insufficient income to open an account, concerns about fees, privacy issues, and general distrust of banks. For those who wish to switch from paper checks to electronic payments, the SSA offers an online platform through their My Social Security account. Technical support is available from Monday to Friday between 7:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. ET. The SSA advocates for electronic payments as they reduce payment delays and minimize the risk of fraud. Citing the U.S. Department of the Treasury, the agency notes that electronic payments are approximately 35 cents cheaper than paper checks, resulting in significant annual savings for the federal government. Additionally, electronic payments are considered safer and more secure, with paper checks being 16 times more likely to be lost or stolen. This reversal by the SSA highlights the importance of considering the diverse needs of its beneficiaries and the potential challenges they may face in adopting new payment methods. It also underscores the ongoing debate between modernization and accessibility in public services. And this is the part most people miss. While the decision to continue offering paper checks is a win for those who rely on them, it raises questions about the long-term strategy for modernizing the SSA's payment systems. How can the agency balance the need for efficiency and security with the necessity of ensuring that all beneficiaries can access their benefits? Your thoughts in the comments below. Social Security reverses controversial policy. What you need to know. Imagine a scenario where a government agency suddenly reverses a decision that affects millions of lives. That's exactly what happened with Social Security's recent policy change. After announcing plans to stop issuing paper checks, the agency has now decided to continue sending them to those who need them most. The original plan, set to take effect after September 30th, aimed to cut costs and reduce fraud by transitioning entirely to electronic payments. Paper checks, which cost around 50 cents to issue, were to be replaced by direct deposits, which only cost about 15 cents per transaction. However, the agency has now backtracked, confirming to DailyMail.com that it will continue to issue paper checks for Americans who have no other means of receiving their benefits. This decision impacts both recipients of retirement and disability benefits. Despite the reversal, the agency still encourages those who can to switch to direct deposit. A spokesperson stated, "We will continue to drive down paper check volume, which is less than 1% of the total." But here's where it gets controversial. The policy reversal came after significant pushback from Massachusetts Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren. During a meeting with Social Security Commissioner Frank Bisignano, Warren expressed concerns about the 600,000 Americans who still rely on paper checks. These individuals, often unbanked, lack traditional banking accounts due to various reasons, including past financial mistakes, job loss, or inability to meet minimum balance requirements. They typically use alternative banking services, such as check cashing establishments, to access their funds. And while paper checks are more convenient for some, they also come with risks. According to government data, paper checks are over 16 times more likely to be reported stolen or lost compared to electronic transfers. There is also a higher risk of checks being returned undeliverable or altered. For those who can switch, the process is straightforward. They can provide a bank account, credit union, or an approved prepaid debit card for direct deposits through the government's GoDirect website. The decision to continue issuing paper checks comes at a critical time for Social Security. A grim new forecast warns that the retirement fund could run short in just 7 years, potentially leading to significant benefit cuts for millions of recipients. According to the latest projections, retirees could face automatic 24% benefit cuts as early as the end of 2032. This means a couple who both work would lose $18,100 annually if they retire at the start of 2033. The new forecast from the Nonpartisan Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, CRFB, has moved up the insolvency date for both Social Security and Medicare trust funds. Just last month, the funds were expected to last until 2033, but this has been revised. One major factor is the impact of President Donald Trump's Big Beautiful Bill, which experts warned could accelerate the depletion of funds. What do you think about the Social Security's decision to continue issuing paper checks? Is it a necessary move to ensure that everyone receives their benefits? Or does it hinder efforts to modernize and secure the system? Share your thoughts in the comments below.